Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
Breaking news. Police have their eye on an armed man near the MSUM campus. Officials say the man stole a handgun from someone and is believed to be traveling 3 blocks north of the campus. He's described as a Hispanic man about 5'9", wearing a gray sweatshirt and red pants. Police say there is not a threat to the campus. This is a developing story, so stay with us here on Valley News Live for the latest. Over 100 volunteers banding together today in Jamestown to fight this year's fall flood, aiming for a goal of 65,000 sandbags by Sunday. Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Bailey Hurley talked with sandbaggers who say they never thought this is what they would be doing in October.
For Pamela Peak, the James River is creeping a little too close to home.
It's about 10 feet away from my back door. Yep.
She says fighting the rising waters isn't how she thought she'd be spending a sunny October afternoon.
I've lived in my house for 3 years, and this is the first time I've had any problems. So I'm out here to support and help out with everybody else that's part of the flood.
You know, I don't think anyone really expected we'd be out here at the end of October.
Jamison Vane says last week's 17 inches of snow didn't mix well with their already sopping wet September, adding there's 3 main parts of town the sandbags are being made for, where the reservoir pools are overflowing.
You just never know exactly what could happen, so we want a built-in contingency just in case. Some areas may come up where we have to sandbag additional. We're hoping not, but of course a lot of that depends on how the weather plays out.
And with around 15,000 sandbags still left to fill, Vane says the city needs volunteers now more than ever, not only to help fill sandbags, but place them as well.
We just started laying levees today. We're hoping to have about 100 down there. Right now we have about 30, so we need additional volunteers. 200 would be great.
Peak says she hopes the number of volunteers around her continues to grow until this bizarre fall flood is finally over.
Wherever they need me, that's where I'm going to be.
In Jamestown, Bailey Hurley, Valley News Live.
Sandbag Central is open every day from 9 to 6 at the Jamestown Civic Center. City officials say it will stay open until their goal is met. We are ending our work week on a sunny and warm note. Well, not so sunny now. The clouds have been moving in, but it's much drier than what we saw this time last week. Justin Fanfarelli joins us now in your no-wait weather with a look ahead. How's it looking, Justin?
Yeah, thank you, Melanie. Good evening, everybody. Yes, we had that increasing cloud trend as we made our way through the afternoon, and unfortunately, cooler air is working its way in. We do have temperatures still into the 60s into the Southern Valley and into Lakes Country, even some portions of northwestern Minnesota. But mid to upper 50s are on their way into our northern and western counties. Do have a wind shift from the south to more of a westerly direction. Wind speeds across the region just a little breezy, 10 to 25 miles per hour. Now we have more sunshine into northwestern Minnesota, Lakes Country, but more cloud cover into the Devil's Lake Basin out toward Jamestown, and making our way between Bismarck, Minot, Devil's Lake, and Jamestown. Some rain showers that could skirt our western counties through this evening. Most of us staying dry, though, as we will have mainly cloudy skies as temperatures fall back through the 50s and into the upper 40s by around the midnight hour. We have one really nice day for the day tomorrow. It will be warm, but cooler air is on the way with a couple more chances of moisture through the week. We'll have the details on that coming up later in the newscast.
Okay, so a little cooler this evening, but at least it will be dry. That's a plus.
It'll be mainly dry, and we have a really nice day in store for the day tomorrow.
Good. Thank you, Justin. And it's time for a look at this week's Valley's Most Wanted. Police say Samuel LaFontaine Sr. is wanted for a probation violation on a possession of drug paraphernalia charge. You're urged to call your local law enforcement if you have any information on him. We're learning more this evening about the body that was found near the Red River in Fargo last night. Authorities tell Valley News Live the body shows no signs of obvious trauma, but they can't rule out homicide as the cause of death. The body was spotted last night around 6:30 in about a foot of water near the Prairie St. John's property, which is close to Island Park. It was removed around 10 after firefighters pumped out water from that area. Authorities are trying to figure out now who that person is that was found dead. One man is very lucky to be alive after his semi rolled over while doing some work in a newer development in South Fargo. It happened this afternoon in the Eagle Point area. Police tell us a driver was backing up when the soft ground gave in, causing the truck to roll. The driver was stuck in the semi as crews worked to get him out safely.
We used the jaws of life and forced the driver's door open, and he climbed down under his own power, uninjured.
Coming up tonight at 9 on the Fargo CW and Valley News Live 10 at 10, we talk with someone who witnessed the whole thing and how this season has been rough for getting construction projects done. President Trump comes to the defense of a top White House official facing fallout over his comments regarding Ukraine. As the House impeachment investigating forges ahead, looking at Trump's administration's contacts with Ukraine, House Republicans accuse Democrats of skirting the rules. Nicole Killian is on Capitol Hill with the latest.
This is a terrible witch hunt.
President Trump defended his acting chief of staff, Mick Mulvaney, a day after Mulvaney seemed to admit a quid pro quo over Ukraine military aid.
I think he clarified it.
During a briefing Thursday, Mulvaney linked the withholding of aid with an investigation into a debunked theory that 2016 election meddling originated in Ukraine.
What you just described is a quid pro quo. It is funding will not flow unless the investigation into the Democratic server happens as well.
We do that all the time with foreign policy.
Later, Mulvaney issued a statement saying there was absolutely no quid pro quo and the president never told him to withhold any money over a computer server.
Many Republicans are backing Mulvaney and feel he has cleared up his comments, but Democrats vehemently disagree.
He told the truth and then he had to correct it.
Both sides continue to spar over the impeachment inquiry.
Our side cannot call witnesses. You think that's fair? When we were in the minority, we were not allowed to do what you are requesting to do. We were not allowed to do it. We never tried to impeach a president, with all due respect. Rules, Mr.
9 Republican members of the House Intelligence Committee sent a letter to Chairman Adam Schiff documenting their concerns about the process. Nicole Killian, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Energy Secretary Rick Perry is facing a deadline on a subpoena for documents related to his role in activities related to Ukraine. Perry announced he plans to leave his position by the end of the year. The search continues for a plane that has been missing for more than a week. Volunteers with the Civil Air Patrol took off from the Fargo Jet Center this morning. They're looking for a plane that reportedly crashed somewhere between Aberdeen, South Dakota and Oaks, North Dakota. Volunteers say the weather has had a negative impact on the search, with the snow on the ground making it tougher to find the plane.
With the weather that we had, because their plane supposedly went down right before we had that storm from last week, so we had several days, I think it was about 5 days, that we couldn't get in there due to weather.
Here's a picture of that single-engine blue and white Cessna that crews are trying to find. They say they have not been able to pick up a signal from the aircraft. At this point, they're hoping for the best possible outcome.
I don't think a financial burden should ever stop a woman from getting screened. It's so important to get this done.
More than 250,000 women in the U.S. are diagnosed with breast cancer each year, and more than 40,000 will die. That's why a community event was held today through the FargoCast Public Health Women's Way program, talking about the importance of breast cancer screening. One of the people there today is a breast cancer survivor. Sarah Bitzer was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer in 2017.
As everything's coming, you feel like nobody understands you or what's happening or what you're going through. But when you have people backing you and that are willing to help you however they can, it's a great feeling.
This program provides free breast cancer screenings, mammograms, and exams for women between the ages of 21 and 64 and who meet income eligibility requirements. It will be 2 weeks before a stretch of 52nd Avenue South in Fargo is open. A city engineer tells us the last concrete was poured today between Veterans Boulevard and 63rd Street. Kevin Gorder says 50 to 70 people have been working daily on the project, adding they still have work on the median and sidewalks before that stretch is completed. The overall project covering 45th to Cheyenne will not be done until next spring. And a reminder to join us again tomorrow for the Farmers Union Insurance Bison Football pregame show. Coverage begins at 1:30 live from the Fargo Dome, with kickoff to follow at 2:30 between the Bison and the Bears on the KVLY and K-Fire Bison Football Network.